13. "Excuse me, Mr. Clogarsh," Aln Mndlshn said, "but a lot of what you were saying didn't make sense." "Clogarsh said 3 questions," Samuel Clogarsh said. "What you said wasn't a question. I'm not interested in your opinions. Try again." "Excuse me, Mr. Clogarsh," Aln Mndlshn said, "but a lot of what you said didn't make sense." "Did it?" "That's better," Samuel Clogarsh said. "And the answer is no. It didn't make sense to you. That is because you are ignorant. For example, do either of you speak Turkish?" We both said we didn't. "Waka waka, needle nu, hoop waka dup dup, baklava." "That's Turkish," said Samuel Clogarsh. "You didn't understand what I said because you're ignorant of the language. To you, it just sounds like gibberish. To a Turk, it's the pledge of allegiance. Just a matter of a point of view." "I'm sorry," Aln Mndlshn said. "I didn't mean to put you down." "There's no need to be embarrassed, my boy," Samuel Clogarsh said. "Ignorance is nothing to be ashamed of, until you find out you've got it. Once you realize you're ignorant, if you don't do something about it, then you have the right to feel ashamed. So you mustn't feel bad that you have just told a great scientist and teacher that he doesn't make sense twice. You mustn't feel bad because you were speaking out of ignorance. After all, this is America. In some countries, in Iceland for instance, things would be very different, but here we give people a chance." Samuel Clogarsh was very red in the face. He was shaking his finger at Aln Mndlshn and jumping up and down. We were a little scared of him. Aln Mndlshn kept glancing at me. He wasn't so fresh when he was outside of school. If a teacher had gotten angry at him, Aln Mndlshn would have enjoyed it. "You little snot noses!" Samuel Clogarsh shouted. "You come in here and I give you the benefit of my years of study. I show you the exact same lecture I gave to the President of the United States, and it isn't good enough for you. What kind of parents do you have to let you grow up so impudent? Sit still!" Aln and I were both thinking about streaking out the door, but how did he know that? Neither of us had moved a muscle. Samuel Clogarsh seemed to calm down a little. "Sorry I lost my temper, boys," he said, "but when you have devoted as many years as I have to a wonderful idea that is going to save mankind, and so many people don't even give you a chance to explain it to them, well, you get a little sensitive. Look, forget about the other 2 questions. You look like intelligent kids to me. Since you didn't understand my lecture, what I'll do is give you both the Clogarsh Mind Control course for half the usual price for one student. It usually costs $1,200. I'll let you both take it for $600. That's $300 apiece. Guaranteed. If you don't make it to Mars in 5 years, you'll get a portion of your money back." "We don't have $600, I said. "No, I thought you didn't," Samuel Clogarsh said. What do you say to 150? 150? Samuel Clogarsh looked from our faces that he was getting nowhere. How much can you kids spend?" Aln and I both still had about $14 in change, and some of which we needed to get back to West Kangaroo Park. "What about $24? Aln Mndlshn said. $24? You insult Samuel Clogarsh, Samuel Clogarsh said. "However, I can do something for you for that price. Although it isn't as good as taking the whole course, I will give you for $24 a portable Omega meter and the first volume of the Clogarsh Mind Control course. This takes you through the basic Omega monitoring exercises into making people do whatever you want. It doesn't deal with reading thoughts of others or teleportation, and it isn't guaranteed. Still, the regular price is $89.95, so you're saving almost $65, and you can always sell the course to another seeker for $40. What do you say?" Samuel Clogarsh had dug out and was holding a little green plastic transistor radio with 2 wires hanging from it. At the end of each wire was a shiny alligator clip. In his other hand was a black plastic 3-ring binder. Aln and I looked at each other. I decided I was going to do whatever he did. "We'll take it," said Aln. Samuel Clogarsh handed the transistor radio and the binder over to us. The binder had a light bulb stamped in gold, like the one on the first page of the chart he had shown us. You could see where he had painted black over where it had said Hogborough Light and Power Company, and then in white paint had written Clogarsh Mind Control Systems, Inc. "This Omega meter is disguised as a transistor radio," Samuel Clogarsh said. "See, when you clip it to your ears and turn it on, you will hear a continuous buzzing." He clipped the alligators onto my ears. It hurt. And turned it on. It buzzed. When you get so you can produce omega waves, it will play jingle bells, he said. Mr. Clogarsh, clip it on your ears so we can hear it play jingle bells now, said Aln Mndlshn. I'm afraid I can't do that, you little fellow, Samuel Clogarsh said. You see, my omega waves are so strong that they would throw the machine out of adjustment. However, I can show you on my stationary omega meter. Samuel Clogarsh pointed to another machine on the table, a big one with tubes and dials all over it. This one is a little more complicated than yours, Samuel Clogarsh said. He slipped on a leather headband and wires. His machine didn't clip to the lobe of your ears, and pushed a button. The machine played jingle bells until he pushed another button to stop it. You see, I am always in a state of omega wave production, he said. Now about the book, Samuel Clogarsh went on, removing his omega meter headband. It will tell you exactly how to use the omega meter, so I won't waste time on it now. The book is divided into 2 sections, using your omega meter, and on the second section, controlling the thoughts and actions of others. In connection with this, there is a formality of intergalactic law and usage that we must observe. When I point to you and say, I swear. Now, I promise never to use my power of mind control to steal money or overthrow the United States government. He pointed. We swore. Samuel Clogarsh put our omega meter and mind control course into a brown paper bag, and we handed him our $24. It occurred to me that this was the biggest thing I'd ever bought entirely on my own. I mean, my mother had been giving me money to buy my own clothes for a long time, but she tells me how much I can spend on, say, a pair of shoes, and tells me what kind to get and where to get them. So things like that don't count. So things like that don't count. My half of the omega meter and mind control course at $12 was the most expensive thing I'd ever purchased by myself. We said goodbye to Mr. Clogarsh and started walking towards the bus terminal. We were a couple of blocks away from Samuel Clogarsh's bookstore, carrying our package containing the mind control course and omega meter, when we saw a familiar hunched figure. It was the Mad Guru. Mornin' to you, gentlemen, mornin', the Mad Guru said, sort of touching his cap and walking sideways. What bus ye take? Take ye? I asked. I didn't quite understand. Aln Mndlshn did, though. We're taking the West Kangaroo Park bus, he said. And where do you get this good morning stuff? It was 2 p.m. The West Kangaroo Park bus, is it? The Mad Guru said. Wall, some speak of her as an evil bus. Some say that the driver is mad and searches for the white 68 Chrysler. Some say that all who ride her are doomed. But I say, mornin' to you, gentlemen. Mornin', mornin'. The Mad Guru half-backed, half-walked sideways around a corner and out of sight. That was spooky, I said. He doesn't scare me, Aln Mndlshn said. I've read Moby Dick.